Superheroes. Everyone loves superheroes nowadays, and when I was growing up and reading comics, all I wanted to be was a superhero. That's every kid's dream, right? To have superpowers? Unless, of course, you end up Aquaman. That guy is the worst. Okay, I'm just kidding. I actually really like Aquaman, but most people think of him as having the lamest or worst or weirdest superpower, but he is far from the weirdest or most bizarre superhero out there. And so since today in your groups we're going to be talking about a unique power that God gives those of us who follow him as we live a more than enough kind of life, I thought I'd do a quick list of the 7 weirdest superpowers in comics. Number 7, talking to squirrels, Squirrel Girl. Yeah, that's right, squirrels. You thought Aquaman chatting it up with Nemo was lame? Anyway, Squirrel Girl was created in 1992 as Doreen Green, a young woman with the appearance and abilities of a squirrel. I cannot believe I'm doing this. Anyway, she has a furry tail, giant buck teeth, sharp claws, as well as super strength, agility, and the ability to talk to squirrels. Yeah, she talks to squirrels. How is that helpful in a fight? Not really sure, but she's on the Avengers. Yep, that's right, she is an Avenger. So I can't wait until 2022 when we get the 5th Avengers movie starring Miley Cyrus as Squirrel Girl. This is how the Empire falls, people. Number 6, control over colors. Color Kid and Rainbow Girl. Yeah, there ain't anything special about either of these people. I don't know why they're considered superheroes. Color Kid can literally change the color of any object, for reasons. Which is why he didn't make it into the Legion of Superheroes. Instead, he's on the Legion of Substitute Heroes. That is a depressing title. And then there's Rainbow Girl. She doesn't change colors, she just uses colors to change people's emotions. Red for anger, blue for sadness. We've all seen that movie Inside Out, right? Yeah, well, that's her, but she uses it to fight people. Number 5, Mood Ring Face Superman. Yeah, so Superman has way more powers than most people know. Here's some that didn't make the list. Super dancing. Yeah. The ability to create a tiny version of himself. Okay. And super weaving, which is where he can make clothes and sheets and stuff. His powers are all over the place, especially when he comes in contact with red kryptonite. Oh yeah, there's a red kryptonite, by the way. It gives him all sorts of weird reactions, and one of them is that his skin color would change based on what mood he was in. Red for anger, blue for sadness. We've all seen that movie Inside Out, right? Number 4, translating languages. Cypher. And then there was Cypher. The X-Men were my favorite comics as a kid, but they were lousy with characters with ridiculous powers. There's El Guapo, the guy who can telepathically control his skateboard, Beak, the guy with a bird beak on his face, and Dupe, who looks like this. I thought I'd seen it all, and then I found out about Cypher. Cypher. His powers are listed in the Marvel Encyclopedia. Oh yeah, there's a Marvel Encyclopedia, by the way. As semi-telepathic and semi-clairvoyant omnilingualism. Ugh, I need a nap after saying that. Basically, he can translate any language in the world. Sounds cool for Spanish class, right? Yeah, it is, but not for fighting giant alien monsters. Stupid Cypher. Number 3, super eating powers. Matter Eater Lad and Calorie Queen. Yeah, that's basically what you think it is. They can just eat and eat and eat. Look, the dude's name is Matter Eater Lad, and then there's Calorie Queen, which sounds like a disgusting meal supplement shake. Both of them are from the same planet, and I guess it's like a weird foodie planet. But my favorite super eater is a member of Generation X, which is an X-Men spinoff, named Mondo. Whatever he eats, his body takes on that organic structure, so sushi? Gross. Number 2, shoot pennies out of your hand, the almighty dollar. Pennies out of your hand? Pennies out of your hand? Sure, that hurts, but pennies out of your hand? Number 1, arms that fall off, arm fall off boy. And now we come to the most self-explanatorily named superhero on the planet, Arm Fall Off Boy. Yeah, he's from the same team as Matter Eater Lad. Once again, a name that says it all. Arm Fall Off Boy's powers are that his arms fall off. Did his name give it away? He's the comic book equivalent of Face Off, the movie where people's faces get taken off. Now, I've never read any comic with Arm Fall Off Boy, but it appears he just takes his arms off and hits people with them. Why are comics so wonderful and so disturbingly terrifying too? Anyway, that's what he does, and that's why he's our number 1 weirdest superpower. Now I'm gonna go burn all my comic books, so see you guys later. Today I want to talk about the supernatural. I know that sounds kind of spooky or like a comic book, but when I say supernatural, I'm talking about something that doesn't make sense according to the way we know the world to work. For example, Superman flying would be supernatural because it doesn't obey the law of gravity. And today I want to talk about a different kind of supernatural ability that probably would be considered a weird superpower, but is something that God said all of his followers had access to. We've been in a series the past couple of weeks talking about how we can live the more than enough kind of life Jesus promises us. A life with more than enough joy and patience and love to get us through any circumstance. And today I want to look at a couple verses out of the Bible that talk about this. They come from a letter an early follower of Jesus named Paul wrote to a church that he led. Paul says, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he's done." If you remember last week, we talked about how worry just seems to be a part of what it means to be human. We all worry about something, our grades or our future or our health. It's normal, it's natural for us. But Paul says as followers of Jesus, we're called to do something else. He says, stop worrying, trust God, thank him for all that he's done for you, and look at what he says will happen if we do. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. Meaning, it doesn't make sense. It's not natural. It's almost supernatural. The kind of peace that God gives us, it's confusing in our world because everyone worries. Especially if you're in situations like Paul was in. Paul, because he was a follower of Jesus at this time in history, had been beaten and had friends turn their back on him. He'd been thrown in jail, mocked, and eventually he was killed for his faith. And so here's Paul, sitting in jail, probably next to a guard who very well could be the person to execute him. And Paul says, don't worry about anything. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Paul, maybe you should be worried about something. But Paul says, I'm not. God's in control of all of this. I pray about it. I tell him what I need, but I also remember all that he's done for me and I have peace. Paul, that's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. But we all want that, right? When things are really bad, when someone we love is sick and might be dying, when our parents are splitting up, when we're going to a new school and we're scared we won't make friends. We want that kind of peace. Sure, it's natural and normal to worry, but we want better than normal, right? We want the peace of God which blows apart all natural understanding. And Paul says it's possible. You just have to turn it over to God. Trust that God is in control. Pray to him. Remember all that he's done for you already and trust he's going to do good again. I know it doesn't make sense, but this is the power God says is available to us. The question is, will you do it? Talk in your groups about how we can have peace like this, and then we'll move on.